We've compiled 100 powerful quotes from legendary figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. These words are not just ancient advice. They are timeless guides that can transform the way you see the world and deal with adversity. Covers a variety of topics related to Stoic philosophy, such as resilience, self-control, wisdom, and the pursuit of virtue. You will love it. Let's go.
Most of what we say and do is not necessary.
Marco Aurelio.
The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
Marco Aurelio.
You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
Marco Aurelio.
It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. First tell yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Do not seek happiness outside, but within yourself. Epictetus. Be tolerant of others and strict with yourself.
Marco Aurelio.
Wealth does not consist in having great possessions, but in having few needs. Epictetus. Misfortune is experienced virtue. Seneca. Life is too short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Seneca. Adversity awakens in us capabilities that, under favorable circumstances, would have remained dormant. Seneca. Nothing, for me, has absolute value. Everything is relative, comparative, and, therefore, variable. Seneca. If you want to improve, be content with being thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. Man suffers more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Just because someone is successful at something doesn't mean it's good for them.
Marco Aurelio.
Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as physical work strengthens the body. Seneca. What's not good for the hive is also not good for the bee.
Marco Aurelio.
It takes a lifetime to learn to live, and what will surprise you even more, a lifetime to learn how to die. Seneca. When you wake up in the morning, think about the privilege of being alive, of thinking, of enjoying, of loving.
Marco Aurelio.
The problems come from not knowing what is necessary and what is not. Epictetus. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how to respond to them. Epictetus. The truth is rarely pure and never simple.
Marco Aurelio.
This is what perfection of character is. Living each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretension.
Marco Aurelio.
No one can stop me from telling the truth or acting in accordance with justice. Epictetus. If you want someone to keep your secret, keep it first. Seneca. The man who is unable to control his emotions is unable to control his own life.
Marco Aurelio.
For every obstacle, apply reason. You are made to deal with it.
Marco Aurelio.
Life is like a play. It doesn't matter how long it lasts, but how well it is performed. Seneca. Inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event to control your emotions.
Marco Aurelio.
Most of what happens to us is insignificant. We are the ones who give it the importance it has. Epictetus. Hurry is a waste of time.
Marco Aurelio.
If a man knows what life is, he does not fear death. Seneca. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Part of healing is the desire to be healed. Seneca. Most of the things we say and do aren't necessary. Cut that out, and you'll gain a lot of time and peace of mind.
Marco Aurelio.
Anguish comes from the judgment you make about it. Epictetus. Man's fortunes are shaped by his thoughts. Seneca. Living according to nature is the path to virtue.
Marco Aurelio.
To always suffer before necessary is to suffer more than necessary. Seneca. Haste is the mother of failure. Seneca. It's not because things are difficult that we don't dare. It's because we don't dare that they are difficult. Seneca. The world changes, but our virtue must remain the same.
Marco Aurelio.
Happiness is a good virtue and needs nothing but itself.
Marco Aurelio.
Man is disturbed not by things, but by the vision he has of them. Epictetus. Life is short, but long enough to live well and honestly. Seneca. No one is more unhappy than he who has never faced adversity. Seneca. Nature is inexorable, and we cannot escape its order.
Marco Aurelio.
The only real wealth is contentment. Epictetus. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is even more powerful. Lao Tzu. A Stoic influence. Fate leads those who accept and drags those who resist. Seneca. If you want to improve, be content to be considered ignorant or foolish. Epictetus. A good character is the only guarantee of a happy life.
Marco Aurelio.
Difficulties are just things to be overcome. Seneca. Life is short, and if we live it well, once is enough. Seneca. Freedom is the highest and best goal of human life. Epictetus. Whatever can always happen now.
Marco Aurelio.
The mind is its own place, and in itself it can make a heaven out of hell, a hell out of heaven. John Milton. A sois influenced quote. True happiness is enjoying the present, without anxiety dependent on the future. Seneca. Those who educate themselves in pain are the wisest. Seneca. Serenity comes when we exchange expectations for acceptance. Epictetus. Joy is the clear and complete understanding of life in its entirety.
Marco Aurelio.
Happiness is the good life measured by virtue. Seneca. Men are not concerned with what they do, but with what they do well.
Marco Aurelio.
The man who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Aristotle. A Stoic influence. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Influence on Stoicism. Virtue is the only thing that can bring true happiness.
Marco Aurelio.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Buddha. A Stoic influence. Accept with serenity what you cannot change.
Marco Aurelio.
The purpose of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane.
Marco Aurelio.
Whoever wants a peaceful life must be prepared to accept adversity. Epictetus. The pursuit of wisdom is the key to a good life. Seneca. A wise person should not run away from death, but rather from injustice. Socrates. True happiness lies in not needing happiness. Seneca. Each man is the architect of his own fortune. Seneca. The mind is the master of each of us. We must not allow it to be dominated by fortune. Seneca. There is no favorable wind for those who don't know where they are going. Seneca. The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Marco Aurelio.
The greatness of the soul is to measure its own strength, not by superiority over others, but by what it supports. Seneca. The main task in life is simply this: to identify and separate issues so that I can tell myself clearly which ones are external and beyond my control, and which ones have to do with choices that I actually control. Epictetus. Remember that it is your opinion about these things that disturbs you. Take that opinion away and say to yourself, you are only an apparition and not at all the thing that appears. Then examine that and evaluate it by the rules that you have.
Marco Aurelio.
No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth, by which no one has ever been truly harmed.
Marco Aurelio.
The need for approval makes us vulnerable.
Marco Aurelio.
Don't look for blame. Look for responsibility.
Marco Aurelio.
Living in accordance with nature is the basis of Stoicism. Know the world around you and live in harmony with it.
Marco Aurelio.
Moderation is the basis of wisdom. Seneca. Remain calm and collected amidst the turmoil of life. Epictetus. Accept what comes to you with grace and make the best use of what you have.
Marco Aurelio.
Only the opinion we have about things causes us problems, not the things themselves. Epictetus. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. Stoic proverb. A man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder.
Marco Aurelio.
The true value of a man is not in what he has, but in what he is. Epictetus. Happiness is achieved when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony.
Marco Aurelio.
Self-knowledge is the beginning of all wisdom. Seneca. The true measure of a man is not how he holds himself in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he holds himself in times of controversy and challenge.
Marco Aurelio.
Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth.
Marco Aurelio.
Greatness does not consist in receiving honors, but in deserving them. Aristotle. Stoic influence. Man is disturbed not by things, but by the opinion he has of them. Epictetus. Be indifferent to what a just or unjust man does. It is enough that he himself is at peace. Seneca. These quotes offer a rich and deep insight into Stoic philosophy, highlighting the importance of resilience, self-control, wisdom, and virtue in the pursuit of a fulfilling and meaningful life.